Welcome to Why Not Us podcast. You already know the vibes. It's your host, Ken J. And you know it's Freestyle Friday Chats with Sheeka. You already know the vibes. You already know what we bringing. Sheeka, how you feeling mentally?
I am feeling amazing. Got the best energy. It's a good day. It's a good day to be alive, okay?
Yes, it's an amazing day to be alive. I'm just
Absolutely.
grateful. I'm just grateful, every time that, you come up here, we having conversations. I'm always learning and I'm always taking back different gems and different jewels from you. So, I appreciate you for, being a part of the platform. So I'm
For sure.
appreciative of it.
For
Appreciate you.
sure. It's always a pleasure to be up here. I look forward to Fridays, so for sure. I'm good. So how you feeling mentally? How's your day?
Man,
Oh
so
no.
mentally I'm good. Like I'm in a very good headspace. Um, I'm just I'm just excited for my trip.
Yes, for sure. That's what's up.
But other than
Absolutely.
that, I'm good, man. I'm just grateful to be in the land of the living. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
grateful to be in my right mind, have the activity of my limbs. I'm just grateful.
For sure.
So
Okay.
yeah.
All
So
right. Well, that's what's up. Well, welcome everybody that's gonna be coming in, and there shout out to everybody that watches the replay, the Freestyle Friday chat. So, y'all know how I do. If you don't, welcome to the platform. I'm Sheeka. For those who don't know, if this is your first time tuning in, so what I normally do is pull a card. I connect, with spirit right before I get on, just to see what messages for the collective. So again, two cards fell out. So what I said I was gonna do a little bit differently. I'm gonna tell you the two words, but then we're gonna also talk about the opposite of the word, because I feel like these words is gonna add to the conversation. So the first word that fell completely out was the word praise. All right. And then the second one I pulled out was gratitude. And I couldn't do nothing but smile because that's my favorite word. So ironically, that's the one that came out. And you talked about being grateful. So what a
yes.
great way to start the day. So I'm gonna start with praise since that's the first one that came out. So initially when I saw it, my old school mind, when we hear praise, we automatically go to religion, spirituality, that kind of thing. So the second thing that came to my mind was my son. I think about how I praise him. So a lot of times we hear the word praise, we always connect it to spirit, and nothing wrong with that. We want to definitely give praise to our higher being. But for sure, how do we incorporate the word praise? So I want to do something different. I'm gonna read the actual definition. So praise is expressing warm approval or admiration of. So some other like similar words are congratulating, celebrating, complimenting people. And then the opposite is criticize. So while I wanted to mention that one, because a lot of us have either dealt with criticism. Criticism is a fear for a lot of people. Criticism is also something that that weighs us down, that causes us to maybe be in our own traumas because we received a certain level of criticism that's blocked us. So that's why I wanted to go different today, to mention the opposite of praise. But we want to stick back to what praise is. So I'm gonna shift it over to you. We're gonna take it over to you. What's your feeling or thoughts about the word praise?
So of course, whenever you think about praise, as you said, like old school, just thinking about just religion, thinking about, the goodness of God and, thinking about the, just praise. Praise is what I do. So,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said, I think about my nephew and how I write on index cards and just let him know that I'm proud of him and his growth. I
Mm-hmm.
actually this morning I actually told him I'm very proud of him because he's doing an excellent job in boxing, and I'm
Yay!
watching the improvements, and
Yeah,
you know he's a genius. So I'm always letting him know that you could be anything that you want to be as long as you put your mind to it. So
mm-hmm.
praising kids is everything. So
Yes,
when they grow up, they won't be broken kids. They already know all the power they need is inside of them. So when I
exactly.
think about praise, I think about that. But criticism, we could talk about criticism. A lot of us are used to people criticizing us and putting us down and putting limitations on us. What's up, Rhonda? How you
Hey,
doing?
Rhonda.
Putting limitations on us. So criticism can have you in a box. It'll
Yes.
have you not believing yourself and wanting to do what everybody else is doing because that's more accepted. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So criticism criticism is major for real
Yeah.
because that plays a that goes along with like self-sabotage too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that's what
And
I
I
think
feel
about
like,
when I think about. So
yeah, like
yeah.
no, that's deep. That's definitely the go-to. Like that's deep because at the same time, like that message of self-sabotage has been floating around. I've been even using that verbiage, and I know you were talking about that with Nathan this week on the entrepreneurship podcast, and I've been that's been a theme for some of my clients this week too, like how we self-sabotage. And I think back to praise. Like we definitely got to uplift our kids, man, because like I literally was in my feelings yesterday about for sure. Glad you're doing good, Rhonda. And happy belated birthday. I know your birthday was recently, so happy belated birthday. Shout out to you,
For
Cancer
sure.
Energy over there.
Big energy,
um,
yes.
but yeah, so like I was thinking about like just like how when if you really really truly watch kids, especially when they first hit the earth, they first born that first couple of years, they in their natural habitat. Like kids are they raw, they real, they tell us what's going on until we start as parents or caregivers or school systems or whatever start putting them in box and putting restrictions on them, leads to certain things of criticism and then having a fear of being approved when it comes to stuff. So it's so important to offer praise to our kids. Like you said, that they don't want to grow up in a broken, mindset, thinking that they can't do certain things. I'm always encouraging my son, you are great, you are amazing, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm trying to get him involved in some stuff, looking into maybe doing karate, introducing him to that just to see if he like it, but just giving him the praise that he can do anything. So I'm like, if you try it out one class, if you don't like it, we're going to find something else, but letting him know that you can do that. That's one of his affirmations. We say, I can do anything. So I remind him that he can do whatever he needs to do. And if somebody comes in and criticize him, then we're going to learn how to operate from that standpoint, because he's going to have so much praise and love around him that he's going to be able to block that criticism when it comes. Because I'm telling you, I have people that work through trauma, and I had to work through that as well. Like we receive so much criticism in certain areas. Sometimes we fear it, we don't know. And then we got certain jobs that put us in certain boxes too, and so it's really hard. Criticism is a trigger for a lot of people too. Like, sometimes people may say things that could, make them feel less than, especially when it comes to narrow-minded people. And so when you're dealing with people who don't operate from a energy of discernment and have poor judgment, then that leads them to criticize or sometimes even project things off on people. So that's just, a big thing that I feel like we got to remind ourselves, like, you've been criticized. Let's work through that. If that's part of your trauma, work through it. Because on the other side is praise. You got to find the right people that's going to give you that energy of praise, let you know you are worthy. Because again, if I promise you, sometimes we need encouragement. Somebody could be having the worst day, and you can just never know, like, oh man, you look great, you look amazing. Even asking somebody how you feeling is a form of praise, because you recognize and you genuinely care about how somebody feeling. So then that leads into gratitude. Like, oh man, gratitude is everything to me. Like I used to have to like do different things when I used to lead group therapy. And one of the activities I used to always do is ask them, like, what's one ungrateful thought that you had today? And people could run them off like, oh man, da 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 da. But when it comes to being grateful, and I'm thankful for people to say the basic. We are for the foundation basic stuff like having a house and stuff like that. But gratitude is even being grateful for things that ain't even came yet. So like for like being thankful, like I'm gonna be moving into a house sometime next year. I'm grateful for my doctorate that I'm hoping to have in a couple of years. Like I was up at 2:30 this morning writing out stuff all the way to 2025, because I'm grateful for the blessings that I have been receiving to be able to look that far ahead and be like, okay, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have this. So I'm already praising myself, but I'm grateful for all the things that I have now, but that I know that's about to come to me. So I'm gonna take it over to
Yeah.
you. What you think
Yeah.
about
So
gratitude?
so look, when I think about gratitude, I think about, people just taking out their time to
Ooh,
just tell me, like, listen, I love you. I care about you. Just taking out the time to buy a car for me.
I love that. I'm
Just
old school. I
buy a
love
car
God.
for me. Just writing a message for me. You know what I'm saying?
I look
Shout
at
out to Miss
that.
Mary. I really appreciate you.
Shout
She's an
out to Miss
amazing
Mary.
soul. Like, she's an amazing soul. She always just makes sure I'm good. She always makes sure my family's good.
That's what's up.
Like, I'm just grateful for her. And it's just the little things that she do, the little things that I'm just grateful for. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just grateful. Like, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
grateful for everything. I'm grateful. Like, I'm grateful for the unknown, for real. Like,
Yes,
I just know
unknown.
that.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, like that's what Babe just said. I
Yeah,
just
I
seen it
love
pop up for sure.
that.
So I'm just grateful for everything. Like when I go outside, I stretch out my arms and I say, universe, I deserve all great things in abundance. I'm grateful for the tree. I'm grateful for the birds. I'm grateful for everybody. So I just stand outside on the porch and say peace and blessings to everybody. It don't even matter if people hear me, but that's how I really feel.
Yeah,
Like I'm just grateful for everything that's just about to happen. And you got to really understand, you got to put your emotions to what you really want to have.
for
You
sure.
got to have faith and you got to have hope. You got to understand that you got to just be grateful when you don't even
Mhm.
know what you're being grateful for, if that makes sense.
Exactly. That's why I love
So,
that, being grateful for the unknown, and I appreciate your feedback on that, because that's thing too. Like, it's a whole energy vibe. Like, you got to have that, and being grateful for the unknown. Listen, one of the biggest fears of most human beings is fear the unknown. So that's, again, what's your ungrateful thought? Fear. I don't know what's gonna happen. You already, some people overthink and already be thinking, well, what if I don't have a good time? But what if I don't do this? It's like, nah, let's be grateful for the experience. And what if I don't? What if you do? So being grateful for the unknown is definitely the turnaround for people who have a fear of the unknown. Because a lot of us, I've been there, done that. But it's like, if you learn to stay in the present and be thankful for what's going on right now, then that makes us even more appreciative of being grateful for the unknown. Because it's just like, if this is how life is going for me now, or how I want it to be even better, I'm gonna be grateful for the things that's coming, because I'm speaking the great things in my life. If you got people that's around you that ain't speaking that energy, I got a thing on my desk right here. It says, "Start each day with a grateful heart." So gratitude is definitely around me, and that's one of my words. I listened to my song this morning, "Gratitude" by Londrell, because it reminds me to be thankful, and grateful for everything. Because sometimes we slip up, or we get into complaining, or we get into feeling bad, and that's why I'm grateful for the energy that I have today, because even though I've been having a couple of setbacks from a physical standpoint, I'm still pushing. I'm still here. I'm still showing up for my clients. I'm still showing up for myself. I'm still showing up for my son. I'm still showing up for my partner. So it's like, it's been so much things that can go on in our life, but we still gotta be grateful, because it shifts our whole damn mood, and that's what it's about, for sure.
yeah, it will shift your mood. Like, you might be mad. And it's like, yo, once you really understand what gratitude is, it really will make you be like, okay, I'm thankful for this, man. It's like, yo, I used to complain about paying bills. Like
Right?
I used to complain about everything. Now it's like, yo, I'm grateful I'm able to pay this bill. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, I like spending money and stuff instead of just putting limits. Like, I shouldn't do this. I need to save this. Bruh, I'm gonna live life.
For real.
I'm gonna live life
You got it.
because you never know. Like, why am I missing out on an experience because you got the money right now? You will get it back.
Exactly.
We gotta get
Exactly.
out that poverty mindset.
Yeah.
So you not
Woo!
living.
You better
So you
know it.
not living because you want to save money.
Yes.
When you die, you can't take that money with you.
Right. And then you're gonna have people that's gonna be fighting over stuff that they don't need to be fighting
Yeah. So
over
girl, I'm
money,
spent.
material things.
Yeah, but I'm not saying like go out here and just splurge. I'm just saying just live life. If you want to take that trip, take the trip.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, do it. Just be grateful. Just, because we get out that mindset. Whatever you want to do, you could do. You want to take that trip, take that trip.
I love that though. I'm so big on that. Teach people about, like you said, that poverty, that scarcity mindset. Stop being scared. Like, a lot of times we have to literally feel the fear and just be able, because sometimes it's like, oh, well, I don't, want to do certain things. Now, I'm grateful for the experience and go ahead and do it. Because if we continue, and I know what it's like to be living in that scarcity mindset, holding on to something. Like, when I started my private practice, I started it part-time because I wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. But when it was time for me to take that leap of faith and go full time, I was reaching burnout. I was in a job that I was grateful for, but I knew it was time. Spirit was like, it's time to go. And so sometimes we have to just listen to when Spirit is talking to us, so we can be grateful for whatever the unknown is going to be. And like you said, you put whatever you put out, you're going to get it back. Because Lord knows, sometimes we would just be like, oh, do I really want to pay for this? Do I really want to buy this? But like you said, you missed out on the experience. Like, I was a whole adult before I got my tail on a plane. Like, I got on a plane when I was like 1-2 years old. I don't remember that. But because I've been afraid of heights, I always thought that was attached to flying. And my father, shout out to my father, because he was like, okay, you need to get on a plane to come see me in Texas. He literally flew from Texas to North Carolina so that I wouldn't have to ride on a plane by myself. And I had my son and my niece with me. So my son got to experience his first flight. But I was grateful for him, but I was grateful for the opportunity that I got out of my zone. So now I'm getting on a plane, go anywhere I want to go now. So I had to get over that. And so I'm just looking forward to just being able to, again, grateful for the experience to be able to do that. But then knowing like if I didn't never get out of that box and thought that it was limited, I would have been limited, limiting my experiences. And that's one of the affirmations that I had to start incorporate is that I am limitless. We are limitless beings. We are able to do whatever. And so stop being scared. Operating out of that
Hey,
scarcity mindset. Spend the money if you got it. Praise yourself. Love on yourself. Because like you said, a lot of times, like you said, don't go into if you don't literally have it. But a lot of times though, one thing I'll say, and I put my hand up on this, but a lot of us be like, oh, we ain't got no money. And that's why I'm big on stop saying you broke because you're not. You can do whatever you need to do. It's people out here, single parents that's living it up, taking care of their business and still able to live their life. But some of us be spending money on stuff that we really don't need and some of we broke. Because I had look, if we got money to eat out at certain places or buy certain things that we know that ain't gonna have no return investment, then there are a lot of times we basically fooling ourselves. So why are we gonna let certain things trick us out our spot when we really need to be thankful for what we got so we can have more? Like if you in a space where you talking about you ain't got nothing,
get out
go
of it.
back and get your gratitude list and realize what you got.
So listen, in this household, my nephew has a millionaire mindset. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I
my
love that.
nephew has a millionaire mindset. So he's me and him sit down and we visualize a mansion. So we have
Mm,
conversations of how he wants his room. You feel what I'm saying? He
yeah,
visualized what he wants. That's the conversation I have with my nephew.
I love
You
that.
feel what I'm saying? He
Yeah,
told his mama the other day, like, mommy, you gotta have a billionaire mindset. Mommy, you could do what my nephew told his mom that. That's the
come through.
energy
Yeah,
that he has. Like he believes in his capabilities. He believes in me. When he
yeah.
see me, he like, auntie, you gonna have the number one podcast around. Like he believes in
Claim
me. And that drive,
it.
yes, like he speaks
Look, that's
life
my little
over me.
manifesto over there. What he said
Yes.
gonna happen.
Yes. So he like,
I love it.
yo, so how you want your room? Like, cause he like, how you want your room? How you and Toya want your room? Like, how you want it to be? Like, do you want this in your room? Do you want that in your room? Like, what do you want in your room? Like, he wants to have conversations on the porch with me.
Yeah,
You
that's
feel
what's
what I'm
up.
saying? So that's
Yeah,
everything to me. So I'm spending time with my nephew, let him know. Like, if you teaching your child, oh, don't ask me for this, don't ask me for that, don't do this, don't do that. And their head is like, Dad, I can't, Dad, we broke. You feel what I'm saying? Not
yeah,
now, listen, I'm not saying to tell people how to live, but I'm saying
right.
once you shift your mindset and let your kid use their imagination, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
surprised what they're experiencing, what they're doing in their life by
Yeah,
just having that mindset. If you can have the poverty mindset, you can have the $1 million millionaire mindset. You feel
for
what I'm
sure.
saying?
I love
Health
that.
and wealth, and that's what it is. I am of
Mm-hmm.
greatness. I am a millionaire, and I believe in the unknown, and so that's the energy I have, and that's
I
who I
love it.
am.
Yes, I
So
love that. And that affirmation that you just said was good too. Like another song I listened to is called I forgot, I think it's called like Wake Up. It's by Kristen, I think it's T, but it's like in the part of the song it was like I'm happy, healthy, wealthy. Happy, healthy, wealthy. And so it's like I love when that part come on because it was like every day feeling good, every day feeling great. So that's how I start my like that's the first song I listen to. I start my day off. But it's like you gotta start speaking these things. Even for people who struggle with things, if you are not believing the things you're saying, again, turn that ungrateful thought into a grateful thought and start speaking these things into existence so you can get to the point. If you don't feel like you're healthy, start speaking it. My son, when he gets have a little cough, he know I am healed. That's what we say. He even incorporated his own when we was doing affirmation. So I got one I want to add. I am rich. Okay. I am rich. We
I
speaking it.
love
Mommy, you
it.
gonna be rich. Yes, we gonna be rich. Let's speak it. And then you have to define what rich is. Like just letting him know, like we can have whatever we want to have. And so just having that mindset is so important. So some people struggle with mindset, and that's something that if you do struggle with that, then you got to figure out what that looks like. So, reflecting back on the homework for last week, we had to identify when it came to discipline and areas that you need to be disciplined. So when it comes to this week, thinking about when it comes to praise, when's the last time not only have you praised someone else, but praised yourself for where you at? If you struggle with gratitude, I need you to start having a gratitude journal. You can just write down 3 things and get to the deep reflection of gratitude. Like before, most of the time when I'm waking up, before I even put my feet on the floor, I'm going into my gratefuls. And that's what me and my son, we talk about, what are we grateful for? But you go into your gratitude. And if your gratitude list, I learned this from my mentor, if your gratitude list don't have you emotional, then you are not doing it right. And when I first like learned it, I was like, what she mean by that? But when I started thinking outside my box of like the
Mm-hmm.
food and the clothes and the shelter,
Mm-hmm.
I started being grateful. Like the first time my son said, I love you too. I was going back through my gratitude journal this morning and just going back and saying, these are the things I was grateful for, being thankful for stuff. Oh, what's
We
going
love you
on,
too,
Racine?
Racine.
Love you.
Love you too.
Shout out to you. Love you. Anybody that need to go, come on and go to Racine's salon. She's in Raleigh. So y'all in the Raleigh area, she hook up, keep KJ looking fly over there. Shout out to her.
Big
That's family. That's
facts.
family. That's everything.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
but yeah, so just like I said, just being mindful of, because sometimes we have ungrateful thoughts, but you can take 5 minutes and not let that mess ruin your day. So if you go into dang, stop. Go ahead and say it. Say what you got to say. But how can you turn it grateful? Being grateful for that, like you mentioned earlier about the birds. Like one of the things I love to hear the birds in the morning. That's one thing I appreciate that. So when you're thinking about using your 5 senses for gratitude, things that you thankful to see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you feel, like get into your gratitude that deeply. It could be something simple as the feel of a soft blanket, the hug of a person, hearing somebody say something. So get deeper with your gratitude. So that's your homework this week is, start writing down your gratitudes or put it in your phone, whatever's good for you. I'm big on old school, so writing down is more active. But get you a gratitude journal and start writing those things down in the morning so you won't wake up starting off, dang, I got to go to work today, or dang, I got to do this today. What are you grateful for? And go deep in that, and then go back and do it again before you go to sleep. So that way you won't sit up here and take that negative energy into your subconscious about all the things that didn't happen from the day. And then go back to, as far as praise, your homework outside of that is, praising yourself, remembering who you are, and then finding somebody else to praise, because sometimes we forget that. So identify somebody that you want to show appreciation and approval to, praise them, and start working on your gratitude list. That's your homework for this week.
So look though, you remember you was talking about being in the box and being afraid to take your flight, right?
Yeah.
So I'll talk about myself, right?
Okay.
So I was afraid to fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was really afraid to fly. And so when I started talking to what I'm saying, my old lady, um like I was like, yo, I'm coming to see you. You feel what I'm saying? So I always bring my old lady up. If y'all, it is what it is. I have to tell my truth. And I
Yes.
was like, yo, I'm scared of the plane. Like I'm scared of the plane, but I want to see you. So
Yeah.
I plan to come see her um on a Greyhound. It took me
Mm-hmm.
17 and a half hours, right? So I was like,
Woo!
listen, 17 and a half hours to go come see her. But
Oh
I
my
said,
goodness.
listen, this is my plan though. I'm gonna get over my fear. And because I was going to Miami the next month. So I got off
Mm-hmm.
my fear, taking a trip with Misty, Lori,
Shout out
Tasha.
to them.
So Tasha was in the middle. Lori was by the window and I was like by the seat. You know what I'm saying? Like it was three,
Yeah.
but I got over my fear. So I got
That's
over
what's
my
up.
fear with flying the plane with them. And
Mm-hmm.
then I took my first trip by myself. I think it was in August on the plane. And then I just been flying by myself ever since. Like
Wow.
once you understand that you were really just putting yourself in a box, because that's what we're doing. Our mind is so
Yes.
powerful. Our mind is so
Yes, it is.
powerful. Our mind will make us feel like stuff is wrong with us. We
Mm-hmm.
allergic to certain foods. So
Yeah.
we're not eating certain foods because we like, yo, I'm allergic to this. But deep down, you really ain't allergic to it, but you just afraid because of a situation that happened that you might have seen. Get
Mm-hmm.
over that. Get over
Yeah.
that. If you think you're allergic to something, just go ahead and get tested. Go ahead and see.
Allergy
Go ahead
test.
and go. Yeah, go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and get that allergy test. Once you get that allergy test, man, your mind is free for your palate. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Because the way you experience life is through your palate as well.
I say
You know
that's
what I'm
what's up.
saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just
I love
grateful
that.
for just stepping outside of the box and understanding that I am limitless. But I had to understand I was limitless to myself. 100 people could tell me, but if I really don't know that I'm limitless, it will not matter.
That's right. That mindset, people can praise you all the time, but if you don't believe it, it's different. That's encouragement though, because the times that I have got on the plane, my son's been always right there with me. So I'm flying for the first time by myself this year in October. I'm going to Tampa for a training for my energy healing, and I'm like, woo, because I'm normally when we take off and land, I'm always holding his hand because those that landing. Because even last time he was like, I don't like the landing part, but to get out of that zone. But that'll be my first time, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to
Hey,
it.
you got it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got
So
it. You
I'm
got
looking
it.
forward to it because it's gonna be up from here. Now I've got to get my partner on there. He got to get his experience, and then we getting some passports and we going somewhere. So it's
Hey,
like
bro.
we got to get out the zone, man. I think about how much time we have lost from being in a box, from being
Mm,
being fearful, not wanting to know what the
mm.
unknown is. So that's why I was so thankful for the words of praise and gratitude that came up because it's like we got to be reminded. A lot of times we sit in that negative energy and we don't understand what it's like to just be on the other side of healing until we really push ourselves. So I'm grateful for my healing, my process, because again, we all go through different levels of healing. And so what that process is, you got to figure out what that is. So that's why I'm big on identifying things so we can get to the level of healing. Because if you don't get out of that box, like I think about the school system. I know kids got to go to school. We all had to go through it. But I literally was at the stoplight the other day, just in my random thoughts of thinking, I was like, I don't even use algebra. My child, I don't use it. And I just feel like when it comes to school, it's so many limitations that they place from elementary all the way up. So it's so important that we got to stay on our kids, even the kids that ain't ours. We got to encourage them and praise them and help them appreciate being grateful because they might be struggling in a certain subject. They feel like, I don't even want to do this. But we got to get through it. But I promise you, if we encourage them and take a different mindset of how we raising these kids and how we encourage them, especially the teenagers like that, all kids have a certain level, but these kids getting to high school, times have changed from when we was in school. Like we about to celebrate our 20-year class reunion over here. So
Yeah,
just thinking about how
dang.
much times have changed, man, it's just I think about how much we put ourselves in a box still as adults. So anybody that's maybe never got on a plane or maybe stuck in that box because you had some criticism that somebody placed on you, man, you got to get out of it. I love that. We only hold ourselves back. Live life. Why not? What's the best that could happen? That should be the mindset. Shout out to you.
Yes.
That is definitely
I
true.
say, yes,
Mhm.
Rexine. Yes.
Mhm.
But
It's all
look
in the
though,
mind.
yeah, but at school, when you go, so when you're a kid, you're creative, you
Yes.
have an imagination, but it's like when you in school, you really are put in a box.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, just seeing people in AIG, seeing people in this class, like that really breaks us apart. It's like
Yes.
really you put telling it's like, yo, since this person not in AIG, this person might feel like, man, I'm because I felt like that when I was no longer. I'm gonna just be real. So when I was younger, I was in AIG
Mhm.
with Miss Cheeves,
Yeah.
at Lewisboro Elementary. So I was in
Mhm.
AIG to probably like fourth grade, but I never like what people have to understand. Like I was there, but I was just doing it to get out of class. I never was a person that really followed rules. Um
Mhm.
So when I posted in the enrichment program, I was walking around doing everything else. You know what I'm saying? I've
Yeah.
always been personal, like into people, having
Yep.
conversations. I used to get in trouble all the time for talking. I always used to get user ends on my report cards.
Mhm.
Um, needs improvement. But I do good in school. Like,
Yeah.
but that really like put me in a box. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in my trouble. Like we like listen, mom. I had to go to school every day, and
Yep.
when I was sick, my mom used to get me for half a days at 11:30. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So me and my sister ain't never missed a day out of school.
Yep.
So my sister went from K to 12th grade without missing the day out of school. Like
Dang.
my
Perfect attendance over
never
there.
perfect attendance, but we used to be on that wave, like what I'm
Yep.
saying. 180 days. My mama is a teacher.
Yep.
My mama was a teacher, so she was a teacher, and I'm a teacher as well. In a
Mhm.
sense, I am a
Yeah.
teacher. My sister's a teacher. For real, it's just
Yeah.
like that. But now when I have my children, because I speak things into existence, I want my
Mm-hmm.
son to know that he could be creative as he wants to be. I'm going to
Absolutely.
be on any school that he's at. I'm going to tell them, listen, my son is good in A, B, C, and D, E, F, G. Do y'all have these things right here to help my son with these things?
Exactly.
My son learns this way. My
Yeah.
son is into talking to plants. My son is into this. Can you help my son with this
Yeah.
creativeness? Like, what are
That's
we
what you know.
doing?
That's
I wonder,
it.
why can't we build our own school system
Man,
without
listen.
limit, without listen,
No
without
limitations.
no limitations? Being
Mm-hmm.
able for kids to be creative. If you're into writing books, you could do that. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Everything
I
that you
like
want to
that.
do, you just build on to that, because a lot of
Yeah.
people don't even think about that. They just think about sit down, take a test, standardized test, F a test.
Yeah, I know that them, and that's I love that idea, and it should be like that to tailor their kids, especially from even the elementary age. I know they got certain schools that focus on certain things, but not every kid has the opportunity to get into that school. Like
Mm-mm.
I here being in Wake County and Raleigh, like I had to get into a whole lottery process to get my son in the magnet school because I wanted him to have the best. But like I remember him starting pre-K, and they had to still wear masks when the first year started out last year, but and because of the way things were, like his teacher was like, I hate to tell you this, but he wants to hug on people, he wants to love on people, but because of the mask and safety, and so he didn't understand it. It was his first time. Like he didn't go to daycare. He was raised by his grandparent, his grandma in the house. So that was his first opportunity to be around kids. He wanted to hug and love on everybody. So I had to explain to him like, it's nothing wrong with hugging, it's nothing wrong with being lovable, nothing wrong with speaking and wanting to show your love for people, but because we have to, safety, so I had to remind that a few times, but sometimes it was hard for him to grasp. But I'm like, I started thinking immediately, dang, already in pre-K, he got heat, they put him in the box, got to be quiet. You talk about like, talking. So many of us got talking all the time. We had to be, in a certain way. And it's like, well, we were bored. We had to take certain classes because we were required
Man,
to. But if you had to put people in their classes where their strengths were, where they could thrive in, then it wouldn't have been no issue. And so just
man,
all the things that we had to do because we were required, it allows us to be back. And then think about like going back to that word criticism, like we were criticized because we wasn't in a certain level. Like I remember ninth grade starting off in college prep classes, but then when I started doing what I wanted to do, hanging with certain people, I wanted them classes no more. But I felt ashamed a lot of
hold
times from the
on.
criticism.
We was in that we was in that English CP class together.
Yep. Yep.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
I think I used to cheat off you, Sheeka. Then we
I
have
don't
that
remember
vocabulary.
that.
Oh well, shoot.
You
Then we
might
have
be,
a
I don't
vocabulary.
know.
Hold on. Then we have a vocabulary book.
Yeah, we had those. Yep.
What was our teacher name? It was
Oh man,
I forgot
I
her
don't
name, but she
remember.
was nice. She had good energy.
She did. Our
But
teacher we had. I can't remember her name though.
yeah, we was in the CP class, the college prep class.
Mm-hmm.
But we all, I mean, we was in Miss Blevins. We was
Miss
in Miss
Blevins.
Ford.
Yep.
Was you in Miss Ford?
Yeah, that's yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't our teacher then. But Miss Ford was our
Was it home?
man.
Look,
Man, listen, I
look.
don't
I
know,
told you, we
but
about to celebrate 20 years been out of high school, man. That's
hey,
why
and
I
then Miss
remember.
Harris, you remember Miss Harris and Mr.
Yeah,
Pierce?
yeah, that was nice. Those people still stand out because they were some good people.
Man, Mr. Pierce be like, he just be like, I got mine, you gotta get yours. You remember that?
Yeah,
He'll let you know.
I know.
I got mine, you gotta get yours. Hey, Kendra, I got mine. You gotta get yours, man. Mr. Pierce,
Yeah,
man, I ain't
man.
trying to hear that today, bro. Oh, you remember
Man, I'm
that?
telling you, man, school. That's what I'm saying. Just like you remember the good times. I promise you. But learning all that other stuff that I don't need right now, like that's. I just think so that's why I always have to bring myself back to just reminding what the kids got to go through and how like I love to see people like shout out to people that be celebrating the kids and doing things for the kids to encourage them, because if they're not getting that praise at home, like me, when I used to work heavily with kids as a mentor, a lot of kids were struggling at home, but it having somebody to again help them appreciate and praise them and let them know that they can do anything. I think this new generation is going to be all right as long as they have the right people around them. And then we get parents get back to the mindset of even that scarcity. You talking about that scarcity mindset we were talking about. It's like I don't have nothing against people like I want my kids to have what I didn't have, but my problem with that is when you try to materialize everything, like, because a lot of our parents didn't spend a lot of time because they had to go to work, right? It wasn't that they intentionally meant to, but it's like, do the same thing. If you felt like you didn't have certain things, not saying, not downplaying material stuff, but spend time, like create those
Yes.
memories, take a million pictures. Like, I literally was going through the picture book this morning when my parents got married. And not, they all divorcing with their own, remarried, but I wanted my son to see certain things. So he saw me when I was little. He saw my parents. We talked about, married and the different changes and stuff like that. But I had to go back to that to remind me of how things were and how to help him appreciate, so he can learn the perspective of different things. Because a lot of times we be putting these kids in little boxes, like, in that whole, stay in the child's place, that kind of thing is like, we got to teach them
Yeah.
a different mindset so we can break generational curses, generational trauma. How we break them, because all it comes from is lack of information, not knowing the information. They didn't know. So it's our job. Anybody can break a generational curse by learning, feeding your brain, teaching your kids differently, providing these memories. It's so many things that we can do. So please make sure that y'all remember these words, praise and gratitude. They're so important.
Most definitely. Hey, so y'all already know me and Sheeka ask y'all this every Friday. Is there anybody that want to come up here and talk to us? Because well, I'll send y'all the link so you could be up here and
Yep.
vibe with us and talk to us. And if y'all have any questions, just ask the questions. If you have any feedback, just let us know what's going on. Like I said, y'all our tribe, y'all our family, and it's all of good energy. And
Sure.
we're hoping that y'all are learning, understanding how powerful your mind is. And once you shift your mindset into understanding that you're in control of your own life. So
I love that.
that's the
And go
whole
back to that
vibe.
comment. I think, yeah, Rexine had a comment before the other one that we read out. Small steps in the right direction leads to change and growth. Yep. I'm big on small. I'm so, like, a lot of my clients, I'm always like, tell me like one thing that made you smile. And sometimes I gotta help, they gotta go back into like thinking like, what did make me smile? It's the small things that we do. Celebrate them small steps, so when them big steps come, you'll know how to act like you ain't surprised. It's just like, oh, I know that was coming for me, because I had already built those, from them small steps. Claim it. So I'm big on that. So yeah, shout out to Rexine for that love, because it's something that we don't realize, that in order to get to the big blessings and the big gratitudes and the big gratefuls, we have to appreciate where we are right now. Even people, like, I've been through different things of saying like, you can't love self-love, like you can't love who you want to be if you don't love who you are right now. If you're going through a weight loss journey, if you're going through some type of transformation, appreciate where the hell you are right now. So when those, again, bigger things come, you're not going to be surprised. You're going to be like, oh, I had manifested that. I knew that was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming. I just know it was coming. So if anybody want to, either, if you don't feel comfortable coming on live, you want to put in the comments to share what praise and gratitude mean to you, you're welcome to do so. Because that's something that we hear as a collective, that those words are for the collective, for you guys, to challenge you to think how you incorporate these words into your everyday and see you walking into your greatness. That's what that's about.
For sure. So I want to give some show some gratitude right now to Toya, to Rexine, and to everybody that sent out positive vibes and positive energy for me when I had
Mm.
my first motivational speaking
Yeah.
this past weekend. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for just being there with me and bigging me up and clapping me up. And I love everyone that sent positive vibes, positive energy. I love everybody that was there. Shout out to my babe for sure, because she surprised me. You the real
Yeah.
one. I never had nobody catch no flight for me. But when
That's
once
what's
once
up.
somebody catch a flight for you, bro, like
Okay.
you gotta pop your collar a little bit.
Y'all better catch them vibes, man. That's black
Hey,
love. That's black excellence right there. I love that's
hey,
so supportive. Like, it's nothing like knowing you walking into your first speech, and then you get that support from your love, right? That's just something. and like you said, to have the gratitude and appreciative people to come through and encourage you. We need that. Because a lot of times, sometimes we be struggling. I don't care what role you in, but to know you got somebody, because people be thinking that support gotta be limited again in a box, like it's just your family, your friends. Like I said, I found my mentor on Instagram. Like sometimes you can have support from people who own podcasts, people who are doing these Instagram or Facebook lives, people who are got these programs. Like your support is not just limited to people that you already been dependent on. Build your support network, build your team by people who are going to pour into you, feed into you. Like we could be a part of your gratitude, a part of your grateful, because we're encouraging. Like your support team don't have to just be limited to people that you know. Think outside the box. These books that y'all be sleeping on, read some of these books. That is a part of your support. Like, because you might need to turn to something in a book sometimes if you can't talk to somebody. So realize what that support is. So being grateful for what that looks like, because sometimes we just need a little bit of encouragement. Yes, I appreciate that. We need that. Oh, the secret. That's always an oldie but a goodie. For
For sure,
sure.
man. For
For
sure. So
sure.
any y'all got anything to say? I mean, anybody in the audience, anybody in the house tonight? Y'all got something to say, man? Like let us know, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can talk to us, you feel me?
We
It's a
here.
whole vibe, man. Like Sheeka, like I always say, man, listen, this right here is everything because a lot of people are looking for to understand the different things that's happening to them, and and every time that you're up here and you pull out the cards, like, yo, I just be so happy, like, bro, what we gonna learn today? Like transformation, when like it was like when you pulled that word for transformation, I promise you, it was like the next day different things was happening and stuff, and I was like, yo,
That's
it
right.
was like, man, it was like a voice, a small, still voice was like, yo, you need to be a life coach. You need to be a transformation life coach. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay,
Oh,
boom.
I
So
got
I
you.
did that. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I
Amen.
appreciate you for you know what I'm saying, tapping into your spiritual gifts, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's something that I used to be, again, not being grateful for. Like, turn away from it, spirit speaking out. It's like, I'm already doing this over here. But just being able to go deeper. That's what I'm grateful for. And I agree with that. People do want a particular team or thinking that certain people are on our team. But if you really are on a certain level of your journey, you're gonna get the right people around you. Like you're gonna be like, dang, where did it come from? Or who is this person? Or because again, like literally you could be searching for something simply on this, even like a social media platform, and be like, how the hell I start following this person? It was meant. Everything is meant. So think outside the box when it comes to thinking about who your support is, because a lot of times it's somebody you don't even realize. Don't I've been,
Yeah.
like I said, I've been knowing Kendra since freaking kindergarten. Shout out to Franklin County. I ain't ashamed where I'm from. Lewisburg is where I grew up
LBG,
at.
let go. LBG, what up with it? 919, Lewisburg.
So, but
Lewisburg.
here we are, back connecting and, sending messages out to the collective. And so just, y'all remember Why Not Us podcast. You see it here. Like her nephew already spoken into existence. Y'all going to see her name all over the globe. People all over the world going to know what this podcast about. We got to start somewhere. So, but yeah, no, don't ever be ashamed where you came from. Like, because a lot of people be like, I tell people, yeah, I'm from Franklin County. I'm from Lewisburg. I come from a small town. I think when we graduated, we had like 99 people to graduate. It was a small area.
It was.
But we came out, we doing great things. And so shout out to the people who are there, and and people who grew up there with Rexine, also from Lewisburg. So we got to represent where we come from, because again, we got to start somewhere. And so we are the product to show you what comes from Franklin County. And thank you, babe.
Oh, that is so sweet. That's so.
I appreciate you.
Oh, that's sweet. Hey, I gotta get y'all. Hey, I gotta get y'all on Black Love, Our Love. I'm just
For
putting that
sure,
out
for
there,
sure.
Maurice. I'm just saying that. I'm just putting that into the atmosphere. Let me know what you
Yes,
want to do,
yes.
brother.
For sure, for sure. But
That's
yeah,
what's
so
up.
just as a reminder, man, y'all, like before we close out for the day, just remember, because I know we had nobody that want to pop on, but it's okay. Just if anything, like I said, for everybody watching the replay or who on here live, remember how we can incorporate praise and gratitude as a recap. Your homework, gratitude, write down your gratitudes, wake up in gratitude, end your day in gratitude, turn them ungrateful thoughts into positive thoughts, get deeper with your reflection, and then go praise somebody that deserves it. It could could be a random person walking by. Hey, you great, you amazing. You ain't gotta know them. Just give them some praise, because I promise you, you're gonna get that 10 times back. So just remember that
Yes.
for real.
Yeah, so that's key, y'all. Understanding gratitude is essential, and everything starts and ends with you. So remember that, when you feeling bad or whatever, you just gotta talk to you gotta really just talk to yourself. Like, you really gotta understand things are gonna happen, but that's just a part of life. But if you walking in gratitude, it'll change your whole mood. Why be mad? Why be miserable when you can be happy?
Yes.
Like, the choice is yours at the end of the day. Like, like me, like my babe will tell you, like, listen, even when she don't even feel like, little babe, no babe. This is me talking to her, like, nah, babe, like, what's going on? Like, you feel me? That's the energy I've been giving her. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only wave I'm on. Like, yo, I can't just no. If you feeling down, I'm supposed to uplift you. Period.
Right. That's that balance, man. You gotta have that, because sometimes we might not be feeling all encouraging. We might be tired or restless, just need to rest, and so we need the other person to be able to balance us, like you said, and just kind of speaking life, and that can change the whole mood. Because gratitude, it can be very simple sometimes. You don't have to, and even when it comes to life ain't complicated. Sometimes we make it so complicated. Like, we are here to learn. We are here to experience this thing called life. We're supposed to experience things, learn from our mistakes, and keep it moving so we can continue to elevate. So being grateful for what that looks like, and having people in our lives, to be able to push us, is what we need. So I hope that, this was a good message for people to connect with. Again, praise and gratitude was the words for the collective. I'm taking that into consideration. So don't forget what those words mean. And, for anybody, like, his future, like I said, remember, you got the time to come up here. If you want to, try again next time, that's cool. If anybody has particular questions, please make sure let us know. But this is Freestyle Friday Chats with Sheeka and Kendra. We hope you guys enjoy the message for the day. All right, enjoy the rest of y'all
All
Friday.
right, peace and blessings.